Hi everyone, so today I'm going to do another reading for you. Hello if you're new here, if you've been here before, welcome back to my channel. This is going to be a slightly different reading to the ones I usually do. I usually do public, like very public figures or, you know, whatever's in the news. Today I'm going to look at Aleister Crowley and Loch Ness. What's Aleister Crowley got to do with Loch Ness, may you ask? Well, he bought Boleskine House on the shores of Loch Ness in 1899 or 1889, one of those years. I'm terrible with history, I should have wrote that down. And then Crowley, as you know, was an occultist. He was a master magician, as it were. He knew arcane kind of secrets, and he practiced a lot of high magic and high ritual. So it's believed that he did some rituals at that house and they weren't successful. So I want to have a look at the rituals surrounding Crowley and Loch Ness. I've been there today. We've driven up to where Boleskine House is. It has just been torched. It was bought by some people who are going to make it into a kind of almost like an occult museum dedicated to him. Sadly, it's been burnt down again, so there has been numerous fires at it. So I really just want to have a look at what's going on with the ritual that happened at Loch Ness. Another thing that you'll find interesting is the Loch Ness monster sightings started in the early 1900s, supposedly after Crowley started doing these rituals at Loch Ness. So we'll have a look and see what went on with Aleister Crowley and his ritual at Loch Ness. So we are using the Thoth Tarot, which is designed by Aleister Crowley, to look into this as well. I'm just drawing all these cards out and then I'm going to read them all out to you. Okay. So the ritual that Crowley did, the first thing is what was underlying the ritual. The first card that came out, which is underlying the ritual, was death, the death card. Death is not scary, oh my god, he died from the ritual. Death is about a change, a letting go of the old, a bringing in of the new. So I really feel that Crowley did this ritual to bring about a massive change in his life and to bring about a rebirth of his spirit and his soul. So it's quite a detailed ritual and quite a heavy one because it's a major arcana card. So it shows a massive change in the psyche. What crosses him is the two dominion. So there was a very vital force crossing what he was wanting to do, and it was very kind of lustful. It was going in two minds, but also very energized. The feminine and the female very energized, but going in opposite directions. And he wanted to be controlled. That was what was crossing him, the control over the ritual. So what would we know? Why would you do a ritual? Why would anyone do a ritual? So what we can see is that Nine of Pentacles, he wanted the wealth, he wanted the gain, he wanted the notoriety, he wanted a life of a celebrity, as it were. That's what people perceived, that's what people saw and what was known about why he was doing these things. People really believe that he was doing it for notoriety. Some people thought he was the wickedest man on earth, and he self-styled himself as that. But I do believe he did that ritual for notoriety. But what was underneath the ritual was the Knight of Discs. So it's somebody who's stepping into their power and stepping into their confidence with the world around them. Somebody who is very earthly but wanting to make their mark. It was very thought out, it was very planned, and it was very it was a long time coming, this ritual that he did at Loch Ness. It was quite a male energy around it, especially with this. And we've got there's relationships going on here. There's two people involved with this ritual, I feel, because we've got two crossing it, and leaving it was the Two of Swords. So there was a duality, there was a decision that he had to make. Did he go one way or did he go over? And he chose the ritual. He went from a relationship maybe, or a pathway that he was veering on, and he chose to go down this route, down to do this ritual. Okay. So his mental state, the Empress, getting like what's underneath this reading is there's a sense of earthiness. Well, everybody sees Crowley as arcane, the intellect, maybe fire and passion. What I'm coming across is very earthly, very deep, very nurturing. He was nurturing himself with this ritual. He was trying to nurture his surroundings with this ritual. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a strong female influence in everything in his work. I'm seeing twos, I'm seeing couples, but it doesn't necessarily show you a man or a woman. It could have been a male interest, but there was a definite feminine energy. If it was male, it was had a very strong feminine energy, and female a very strong feminine energy, but that very nurturing sense. That's his headspace, and he was very nurturing as well, so that was being surrounding him. That would have been his headspace. So surrounding him was happiness. Nine of Cups. He thought this was going to be it. He really loved his time up at Loch Ness. He loved doing this ritual. It seems he put a lot of emotion in towards it, and a lot of happiness surrounding it. He really loved what he was doing with this, and that showed he enjoyed his time there. So what was he worried about, and what did he hope for? The Prince of Cups. So really bringing that zesty energy with the emotions, the romance, the love. He was really hoping to bring something from the bottom of the deep of his soul, and maybe even the depths of the water, something out to life, something that he loved very much, and something that he would have nurtured. It was definitely a grounded and definitely a passion around this as well, but like an emotion, rather emotional rather than a sexual passion. It was a very deep thing he was doing here. So I get the Five of Cups. Initially there was disappointment with regarding the ritual. It didn't go as he planned. It didn't work out. No. It didn't go well for him. And the outcome, the Star. Well, that could be his star status, his rebelliousness, his I don't care what the world thinks of me, I'm going against the grain. I'm going to be the one and only Aleister Crowley. I'm going to leave a legacy. I'm going to be brilliant. And he did burn bright. He really did. He did burn bright, but he didn't have that, what we would think of a celebrity lifestyle. So I'm just going to pull a few more cards about the Loch Ness monster. Sorry, I'll show you me shuffling. So I'm just going to pull 3 cards. Has this got anything to do with the Loch Ness monster? I would say no, Crowley's ritual didn't summon anything from the death. There was a completion of the ritual in his eyes, as we've got the 4 of Wands. We've got the 7 of Discs, which hasn't worked out well for him, and the 8 of... My mind has gone. Wands, and that it hasn't worked out well for him regarding summoning anything, and he's acted quickly. Let me just have a look. So he's finished the ritual, it wasn't a success, and he's closed it down quickly. So Crowley is not responsible for anything that lurks the waters of Loch Ness. Interesting. Very interesting. So I should put these away for a second, and I'm just going to ask the same deck. Is the Loch Ness monster a real entity? Let's have a look. So I get the 10 of Cups, the Princess of Discs, again, Earth signs. Oh, wow. So I do believe that there is an entity there. I've got Deity, which is the 10 of Cups. I've got the Princess of Discs. Again, we're going back to that earthy energy. And I've got the 9 of Swords there, some interference. So I do believe that something has been created there, not from maybe the context of Crowley though. So that again is a different angle to look at it. Maybe there's been someone else. Interesting, very interesting. This is possibly one of my favourite cards in the deck. Princess of Discs. Almost looks like the creature from Pan's Labyrinth. Beautiful. Anyway. So I hope you enjoyed that reading. Thank you very much for making it this far. If you're there, please subscribe, comment, like and share. These are for entertainment purposes only. And thank you so much for coming along with me. Alright, take care. Bye bye now.